Hey, Wildcats, Miss Murphy from the CRC, coming at you with a quick video about completing a college search using SchooLinks. So in order to do a college search, you will click on college and then click on school search. This page takes you to a massive list that you can certainly scroll through and look for schools of interest. Um, this has not applied any filter yet. So there are over 4,000 colleges and universities in the US alone that are eager to have you apply to them, to consider them. If you do have a certain school that you are looking for, you can type that in, do a search, and let's see if it works. And then look for that school and it'll pop up in a new window where you are then able to explore specific information about that institution. I'm going to come back to that screen in a second, but for now we're going to go back to the search. So again, this is a very broad output right now. You're looking at the whole country, you're looking at the whole outlook. The SchooLinks algorithm does respond somewhat to LHS trends. So you'll notice that the first schools that pop up, these first 8 schools are all high interest schools for Wildcats historically. That does not mean that you have to be interested in them or that you must look at them, etc. But the SchooLinks programming does kind of put high interest schools at the top of that original search page. So again, you could scroll down and look at things as you wish. You'll notice here that several of the schools have the heart on them filled in. So they're filled in white. That means that I've favorited them and they are now on my favorites list, which I can click to, and you can see that I've narrowed my list a bit through using that favorite function. And again, in order to do that, you can either click on the heart directly from this search page. So if you know you'll be applying to College of Lake County, you can click the heart. That has now been added. You can add notes about why you added it if you want to, or you can leave those blank. Click save. And now you see that heart was filled in and College of Lake County is a new school on my favorites list. Nothing here. If I add a school to my favorites list, if I research a school, there's no commitment to having to apply or consider. Keep in mind, again, everything you're doing here is exploratory. It's research-based. It's helping you consider options and ultimately get closer to that final list that you'll be processing and applying to as a senior. So I showed you how to favorite something. I also want, while we're on this main page, just to highlight a couple other options. So if a school has visited LHS, you can click on this comments box, the word bubble that's available on every one of the college profiles. And if they have visited, Miss Higgison or I, one of us sits through every rep visit each year, and we host well over 150 college reps each fall. So if they have visited, we've copied the rep questionnaire and any additional notes to the comments section for that school. So you can get there from this page by clicking on comments. You can also get there by if you're on a school specific site, like I'm on the Colorado State site. You can also find that comments section here, where if you click there, you will also see those notes, okay? And again, here's that heart where you can favorite. You can set a school as your goal, which remember that is part of your profile page that is always editable. And so you have a college goal in here. If I wanted to change this, I could click on it. Let me go back to change goal, and then I can change my college. The first schools that are typically going to pop up are the ones that I've favorited. So perhaps I want to change and I'm going to attend Loyola, or I think I'm going to hope to attend Loyola. And now I've updated that profile. It's that easy. Nothing's permanent. This is all flexible in the works as you work your way through senior year. So going back to the search, we talked about how to favorite a school and where to find that favorites list. The favorites list is also where if you ask me or your counselor to add some schools, this is where a counselor list will also appear, just as a quick FYI. And then if we go back to that school search, another really important piece, or I think a popular piece of info that students often engage with is this bar chart with the little bubbles called a scattergram. So if you click on that for any school, you're going to get a pop-up window that shows admission history over the last 5 years of LHS students and their application decisions. So this allows a student to, you can zoom in, you can adjust how you're looking at that picture, but maybe your grade point average is a 3.4, and you're able to kind of, again, zoom in on that 3.4 line on the graph and able to see there's a lot of greens. There's a lot of accepted students in my GPA range, which gives me a little bit of boost of confidence and information related to how my application might be processed. So the scattergrams are an additional research piece. They should not dictate your final list. Every application pool is unique. So historical trends are not necessarily predictive, but they can help us get a sense of where we stand in the admissions scope. On this pop-up window, you can also see acceptance information based on GPA. So you're seeing, again, in that 3.4 range, a lot more green than red, which is what you are hoping for. Green is go, you accepted. And you can also click on application history, where we're able to take a peek at how many students from the last 5 or 6 years of graduating classes, how many were denied to this institution, how many were accepted, and then how many enrolled. So that can be kind of interesting too, just looking at trends and seeing, getting a perspective of those admission trends. And again, you get to that scattergrams through this bar chart. It's like a little XY axis with the bubbles in it. You can also get to that if I click on and open up that separate page for University of Iowa. If you are on a college specific page, you would scroll down to admissions, and the scattergram information is right there. Okay. And you can also see in that admissions view the acceptance rate overall for Iowa, an average high school GPA, which does not mean required GPA, it just means average, and then some additional application information. So as far as filtering, sometimes students, it's best to kind of think about maybe the size of school you want to look at. So maybe I want to see smaller schools, and maybe I also know that I want to stay in the Midwest. So now I've reduced that list of over 4,000 colleges to 550. Maybe I also know that I hope to go to a 4-year college. And now I've continued to shrink that list to 385. So that really has shrunk the pool and allows you to do a little bit of deep dive into a variety of schools that may be a great match for you. If you know that you want to major in something specific, like elementary education, you can also type in your intended major, your hopeful major, and we are now shifting narrow down to just over 200 schools. So there's a variety of ways that you can filter. You can also look at acceptance rates, like highly selective, open enrollment, etc. You can look at programs if you're looking for a specific sport. There's a lot of options related to how you search. So I encourage you to kind of have some fun with that. And again, you can favorite, look at that scattergram, decide on things, be working on building that ultimate final list. Couple other things I just want to say from the school specific page. When you click on a college name and you are taken to their main info page, there's a lot of info here to help you kind of decide, is this a good contender, a good match for me? So I'm going to quickly show you, you've got the overview as far as acceptance rate. Graduation rate is typically shared in a 6-year average or a 6-year report. So keep in mind, they are telling you 65% of the students who start at this college graduate within 6 years. So you want to keep that in mind as you're thinking, because ideally you might not want to be paying for college for more than 4 years. So looking at those grad rates can be an important factor. How many students are on campus? So that enrollment, what's campus like? Small city, small student body, housing is available, additional info about campus safety, average temperatures, if you're interested in if the weather makes a big difference to you, walkability, bikeability, student to faculty ratio, and percentage of students based on gender and race, ethnicity is broken down. Um, Specific academic programs, do they have the ROTC program I'm interested in? Will I be able to study abroad? Do they take dual credit credits that I've earned while I've been at LHS? Things like that. Different programs offered, athletics available, student life information. The cost and financial aid, I think, is a nice way to take a look at college costs just as a start. I'm always going to recommend that as you finalize your list, you're looking at those net price calculators to get a most accurate report on what your family, what your true cost might be. But here you can adjust your family income according to specific kind of brackets or levels. So if you know your family income is more like 75,000 to 110, you're going to punch that in and see what an average out-of-pocket expense is for a student from a family with that income. So you can adjust this based on and just kind of get an idea. Cost of attendance is shared, which includes tuition, fees, living expenses, housing, food, books and supplies. And then again, that admissions information related to the scattergram, general information, admitted student profile info around testing. So you're able to maybe take a peek at your stats and the school stats averages. What's it cost to apply? How do I apply? And then also, if you like Carthage, SchooLinks will say perhaps you'd like to look at a few other schools, and they share some other possibilities with you that allow you to kind of click over to another school. Keep in mind from these, again, school specific pages, you can, let's see if my page loads. You can favorite or unfavorite. You can set as your goal. You can add to a list. But it's just a matter of exploring, narrowing, considering. And again, nothing here is a promise. Schools don't know that you favorite them. You will eventually be managing college applications through SchooLinks. So there will be processes involved with your actual applications that will be managed through SchooLinks. But as an exploratory tool, looking at schools, favoriting schools, considering schools, digging into school specific info. This is all just a safe exploratory learning opportunity for you to complete. So I wish you happy exploring, have some fun with it, keep an open mind, maybe consider schools that it's okay to consider schools you've never heard of. It's okay to consider schools that are different than what your best friend or your siblings have looked at. Remember, this is your journey, and the goal is to find your best school, not necessarily the best school. We want to find your best school for your future and your plans. All right, thanks, Wildcats.